Today I'm in Leeds and I'm going to be eating at 3 of the top rated breakfast spots in the city to find out who has the ultimate breakfast. It's pretty early in the morning right now and I'm hungry, so let's get eating. So the first place I'm eating at today is called Bill's on Albion Place. Now Bill's is actually a famous restaurant chain known for their breakfast, so it's going to be quite interesting to see how a big chain does breakfast and how good it actually is. So let's head in and check it out. The inside of this place is pretty modern and contemporary with a bit of a boutique hotel feel. It's nice and open with a great colour scheme, and it has these big chandeliers hanging from the ceiling which look rather fancy, and I quite like the other lampshades too. The menu here is large with many options ranging from breakfast dishes to lunch and dinner ones, and even desserts too, and it'll take you a lot of time to look through as it's on both sides. But we're here for the traditional breakfast, so let's order one. The breakfast came out looking pretty good with all your usual items, but I do need to point out though that the beans don't come with the breakfast and you do have to add them on for an extra cost, which I was a little annoyed about. So the items you get here are 2 free-range fried eggs, and the yolks do look nice and runny, 2 or 3 rashers of smoky streaked bacon, which is a little unusual as normally it's back bacon in breakfast, some fried mushrooms which look rather good I have to say, a roasted plum tomato cut in half, the beans that you have to add on for an extra cost and they come in a little jug, 2 slices of sourdough toast with butter that's currently hiding under the jug of beans, and 1 Cumberland sausage which is also hiding behind 2 slices of toast. I'm going to start off here with the Cumberland sausage as it looks nicely fried. It's got a good golden brown colour on it and you can see the herbs running through it as well. So let's go in for a taste. It was not bad. It was quite a dense sausage and the meat was packed in there tightly together. I think it could have done with being a bit more flavourful as I didn't quite taste much of the herbs and meat flavour, but a decent sausage. Let's move on to the bacon. So streaky bacon here as I mentioned before, and I do have to say it does look pretty delicious with the fat running through it and the oily goodness glistening in the light. Now this bacon was definitely delicious. I really liked it. It was meaty, crispy, salty, fatty and even full of flavour, so really nice. Now let's do the yolk test. I'm guessing these are going to be perfect, and they were. Lovely and runny on the inside and garnished with chives too. I can't wait to dip things in it. Next up, let's try the mushrooms because these look really tasty to me. I like the look of these a lot. And they didn't disappoint. You get a great strong mushroom flavour and you could taste the butter that they fried in too, so good mushrooms here. Now these beans are the first that I've seen that actually look like Heinz baked beans, and I think I can usually tell when they are, so let's go in for a taste of them and see. Okay, with these I couldn't quite tell, but I think they were Heinz or at least something really close anyway. In fact, I'm going to say that they were Heinz baked beans. The toast was pretty good here and not too hard like at some of the places that I've been to recently, so a nice change that you can actually eat it normally and even dip it in the egg yolk for a nice yolky buttery bite of toast, which I definitely did do. I got the breakfast with a big red pot of tea, which I think is the largest pot I've ever had. It was huge. I think I ended up getting about 4 cups of tea from this one teapot, which was pretty good value actually. What a great start to the day. I enjoyed the breakfast in there, particularly the bacon and mushrooms. So the total cost of that meal was £14.80. Let's move on to spot number 2. So the second place is Basco's MMXX, which I think is Roman numerals, but I'm not sure what number that is, so if you do know, comment it below. So this place is located on Albion Street and has great reviews on Google and TripAdvisor and looks really good. So let's head in and try out the food. It's quite a small place on the inside but really modern looking with an open plan design and a small counter area that kind of acts like a coffee bar that you can sit at, which I think is a pretty cool feature. It's light and airy with hanging lights on the wall which look stylish and artistic. The menu is a good size with lots of offerings from breakfast to burgers and wraps to salads and even bao buns too. But we know what we're here for, and that's the full English breakfast. So this came out looking really nice. You get 2 of each item, so good portions, and everything on the plate looks so good. I was actually salivating at this point, so I could not wait to try it. With this breakfast you get 2 fried eggs with great looking yolks and garnished with black pepper, 2 rashers of bacon that look to be cooked perfectly and crispy, some fried mushrooms on the side, some baked beans in a pot that actually look like they could be Heinz too, so I'll have to test them out later on, 2 sausages that look rather thin here, so it's going to be quite interesting to try those, some roasted tomatoes that are hiding underneath the sausages, so they should be covered in lovely meat juice, 2 slices of sourdough toast, which everywhere seems to be doing right now. You get butter on the side for the toast as well, and 2 amazing looking hash browns, one of my favourite things, so I can't wait to try them. Let's start off with the sausages. So this is the first time that I've seen thin sausages used in a breakfast, because usually they're the big fat ones. So these are going to be interesting to taste. So let's give one a try. They're pretty good, meaty and have good flavour to them. They're also quite juicy in the middle as well. I think I still prefer the bigger, fatter ones though, but these are still good. Next up, the bacon. Now my mouth was watering cutting into it, so they're thick cut and fried really well. They look meaty and juicy and I can't wait any longer, so let's just dig in. The bacon here is just on another level, it's so good. It's thick cut so you have a bit of a bite and chew to it. You get the great salty meaty flavour and the fat just adds that oily goodness too. You have to try out the bacon when you come here. Next up, the eggs, and no surprise, they're cooked perfectly with a nice runny yolk. There's just something so satisfying about bursting a yolk on a runny egg. So, the beans, and the question of whether they're Heinz or not. From looking at them now, I don't think they are, as I think the sauce is a little bit too runny, but let's go in for a taste. Okay, they're not Heinz. They might be another brand like Branston or something, but still good beans. Now onto the hash browns, and I've been waiting all meal for these, so I hope they're worth the wait. These hash browns look like they're going to be amazing. I literally cannot wait to try them out, so let's do it. Okay, these were amazing. There's no other words to describe them. I could have eaten 10 of them. The outside is crispy and crunchy, the inside is soft and creamy, the taste of the fried potatoes is just so satisfying to me, and these were perfect. I just had to get a bite with everything on it, so I went for egg, bacon, hash brown, mushroom and beans. This was the ultimate bite for me. I could have had it all day. I got the breakfast with a Yorkshire tea that came in its own little packet, and that was a great finish to the meal. What an amazing second breakfast. The bacon and hash brown were amazing in there. So the total cost of that meal was £15.90, which brings my total at £30.70. Let's move on to spot number 3. The third place I'm checking out is called Wapentake, situated on Kirkgate. It's known for using all locally sourced ingredients and is highly rated on Google and TripAdvisor. It says it's a little piece of Yorkshire in this little unassuming little cafe, so let's go in and check it out. The inside is pretty small with not much seating, and it has a bit of a pub feel to it. There's even a piano in the middle, although I'm not sure if that's for playing as it's being used as a cutlery holder currently. There's quite a bit of artwork on the wall with what I thought was a London Underground tube map, but it turns out it was a giant map of all the bars and pubs in Leeds that you can visit. So if you're heading out in Leeds, take note. The menu here is pretty simple with only brunch items and sandwiches available, but there was something interesting called a Viking breakfast, which is basically a breakfast times 2 on one plate, so that can be a good food challenge for another day. But today I'm here for the Yorkshire breakfast, the first thing on the menu. I also went for a cup of tea as well, because you have to have tea with a breakfast, and it was a good tea. It was a nice looking breakfast when it came out, and the first one of the day to include black pudding, and there looked to be something in the beans too, which I have to investigate. So with this breakfast you get 2 rashers of what looks like thick cut bacon, a slice of black pudding which looks really dark in colour, 1 sausage that looks to be cooked nicely, a roasted tomato, a hash brown that I'm looking forward to trying, 2 poached eggs on top of a slice of toast with I think cress for decoration, and the beans in a pretty big tub with a mystery sauce in it. I definitely need to try and find out what that is. I'm going to start off with the sausages here. It's a little bit on the smaller size, but looks to be cooked well with a nice golden brown charring on it. Let's go in for a taste. It's pretty good.
There was a nice flavour and taste to it. It was soft in the middle and quite juicy. So all in all, a pretty good sausage. Next up, I have to try a piece of this thick cut bacon. It's just asking to be eaten. Here it goes. The bacon was delicious. It was meaty, salty, fatty, oily, crispy, everything that you wanted a good piece of bacon to be. Really nice. The poached eggs were cooked to perfection, the yolks were just right, nice and runny, and the eggs was soft and light too. Now let's try out the beans and see if we can figure out what the mystery sauce is, because I've not had beans with a sauce in it before. Here it goes. I couldn't really figure out what it was. Maybe some Worcestershire sauce. The taste of it wasn't really that strong. Right, let's cut off a piece of black pudding and try this out. It's a bit of a thin piece of black pudding, I have to say, but let's try it and see how it tastes. It was nice and soft and cakey. I don't find black pudding in general to have that strong a taste, but this was good and the texture went well with the other items. Now this is what I've been waiting for, the hash brown. One of my favourite things, and this one looks like it's gonna be really good. So let's go in for a taste. I was right, it was delicious. Again, crispy on the outside, soft in the middle, and you have a great fried potato flavour. Now if this is not the ultimate bite of food, I don't know what is. Egg, hash brown, black pudding, tomato and sausage. What an amazing meal. I think I can have breakfast any time of day.
What a great third breakfast. Again, the bacon was amazing. So the total cost of that meal was £13.50, which brings my total spend for the day at £44.20. So what was your favourite breakfast? Comment down below. I think for me it's got to be between the second and the third place, and I think the second place takes it for me. Okay, so if you like breakfast, click on the thumbs up icon below, click on subscribe to come along for the next food journey, and I'll see you in the next one.